God was very merciful and brought us safely to Houston last night. And this morning, they did this PICC line insertion. And if people don't know what that means, because I sure didn't, it's basically an IV that goes in from my upper arm under my skin through a vein somehow and into my heart. And then it's got these two little connectors that dangle out. And I'm hooked up right now to I guess, I don't know, a bunch of tubes, and they're giving me stuff. But I wanted so much to share this morning. So we were here at the hospital at 7, and they were going to insert this PICC line, this IV in my arm. And I was nervous about it, but I just kept praying and just remembering that I had told God, I trust you 100%. And just kind of telling God, don't let me forget that I trust you 100%, you know.
That's so honest, Rosin. I love it. Oh, that's great.
And so they pulled us into the room, and we were reading the Psalms before they called us back, and we were just praying the whole way. And I was just praying because they weren't going to give me anesthesia, just a local shot, and then stick the tube in, and they're like, well, you're going to feel it, but it shouldn't hurt, but we don't know. And then here are all the things that could happen, and you could die, and you could get an infection, and you could die, and all this sort of stuff. And we just kept praying and praying, and I remember telling the Lord, like, no matter how much it hurts, help me to keep it in perspective and to remember you hurt so much more for us. And so whatever I go through, it's just a blip in time, and I'm not going to remember it in heaven and time from now. And so just please, Lord, help me through it, and just begging for his mercies. And David, before they did it, I started to get sleepy. And they eventually gave me a medicine for like anxiety or something like that. Just, I guess, because they probably give it to everybody. But I don't think it was really medicine. It was just cough syrup in a teeny tiny cup. But even before they gave me this cough syrup, I was getting sleepy. And David, they were talking about how they were going to do it, and they laid me down on the bed, and they pulled my arm out, and they were because one man was training the other man. And I just started falling asleep, David. I believe God sent me a heavenly anesthesia.
Wow.
I was out, David. They didn't give me anesthesia, but I was out.
Wow.
And I didn't wake up until it was pretty much all over. I felt them do like a little suture stitch because they got to stitch it to my arm. But it didn't hurt very much. I didn't feel the local that was supposed to be really painful. I didn't feel anything, David. I woke up and I was drowsy, I guess, from the cough syrup or just my heavenly anesthesia. But I felt great. And I came out and I told Robert, I said, Robert, God did a miracle, because we were both so scared about this PICC line, because I've had so much trouble with my veins before. With the IV in the hospital, when they do this thing called flushing, they put saline in, and it's just excruciating painful to where we have to tell them, just start a new IV because it hurts too much for you to clear the line.